guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm still kind of like in the mood of drawing 17 at the moment because of their new mini album that came out, and I thought it'd be nice to do another redrawing a music video scene in my style. I'm gonna pick something simple this time, and so we can focus a little bit more on lighting rather than on the figure. Because I think last time I bit off too much than I could chew. So let me see if I can find the previous ones. I think I did two of Vernon. So I did this one originally. So this is based on, this was based off of 17's Oh My, which is Vernon, kind of in this like foresty, dark blue, green background. And then I did do another one with Vernon for some reason, which is this one. I don't know if I did this for a redraw music video thing, if it was under that same like theme, but I did redraw something from it. And I think this one I did too much, so I wanted to pick something a little bit more simpler. And the other one that I did was of Eyes 1, but I don't know where. Well, I guess it's right here. So this one as well. Background was actually kind of fun to do. Because of like how it focuses on the two characters, or in this case the two figures, which is Chaewon and Nako. Yeah, it was easy for me to kind of just lay in the background and then blur it, just to make sure that these guys are in focus and the background is kind of just softly done. But I think I want to draw Wonwoo. I kind of miss drawing him quite a bit. Let's do 1920 by 1080, which tends to be like a YouTube aspect ratio. I'm going to change the background color to be lighter, and we can just get started. I'll put the screenshot of Wonwoo on the screen right here so we know what we were drawing today. I won't leave it up for the entire video because it'll kind of disrupt, but yeah, let's just get started. Well, I guess it is the same aspect ratio. I'm just like more interested in doing the lights in the background, which I think will be fun. And I do like how he's kind of like rim lit, the rim lighting on the side of him, so we'll see how this goes. But if you guys listen to 17, or have listened to the mini album at least, do let me know which is your favorite song. Because I definitely think I have a hard time picking which one's my favorite. I think To You might be my favorite, but I do like the title track, and the unit songs are always very fun. But also like Crush is so catchy. So it's 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 gives me like, I don't know, it feels nostalgic to me. Wonwoo has slightly thicker brows. I feel like S-Coop's Wonwoo and Vernon kind of have thicker brows. So I'm just kind of throwing in his eyes, and then we can adjust as we kind of need. But just something about listening to all the songs like together, like in succession, is just so nice. And I don't know if it's because I've been hooked on the medley for so much, like listening to the medley for the last few days. You need to fit his full head, but also his head's more, how to explain, straight. I'm gonna give him a little bit sharper eyes though. So one of his ears do stick out a little bit more, then they're kind of like round. So I tend to draw him with larger ears. It's supposed to look forward. Mine's looking more to the side, which is kind of contributing to almost that 3/4 look, which is not what I wanted. Do his collar. So his neck looks, well, it's kind of like long, but then this side kind of rises up on more on his neck. I'm a bit sad that June and D8 aren't present for the comeback. I'm glad they're getting more opportunities like in China. But I do miss seeing them. It's kind of Sad not being able to see them for the comeback and seeing their parts like live. So usually when I'm drawing fan art of 17, or just like fan art of real people, I feel like I always make the bangs longer than what they actually are. Adding some extra strands, shrink them down a smidge so you can fit the full hair. I was tempted to draw Vernon again, but I stopped myself. So I've drawn him a lot for these kind of like music video redraws. So let's try to get the shape of his hair correct. Should be the most highest point. I think he looks kind of cute though. I always love like the longer bangs on the 17 members. Like I always like when they don't style their hair too. It just looks natural and it's all down. It looks really cute. So when I do like chibi versions of Wonwoo, I haven't done chibi versions of 17 in a while, I don't think. Other than for like products. But when I draw him, it's like this. I guess let's give him glasses. I usually give him like big round ears. Like a little sprout on his head. That's Wonwoo. I feel like I haven't drawn him that much. I still think this is my favorite Wonwoo drawing, or at least one of them. This one. And I think this is the first time I've used like the noise filter over the whole thing just to make it look a little softer with that texture. He just looks really pretty. I don't know. I haven't... Well, other than that one's this one. It's my favorite. But less about his face. I think I do like how I painted the hair, but I love how I did the fabric mostly. I still doodle him from time to time, but I don't draw him as much. I still like this one too. It's a little cute little Wonwoo. Okay, I think this will work for the Wonwoo piece. Or Hip Hop Unit's voices in this album, beautiful. I'm glad they did more of like a ballady song this time. Because the last one they kind of did was kind of like Lean On Me, but Lean On Me had a very like cute, comforting undertone. Let's do the colors. So my laptop and my Gaomon screen, they do have like different color configuration, and so does my phone. So I don't know if any of these are gonna look accurate, but I'll be right back. Okay, so now on this new layer, I'm gonna set Wonwoo's sketch layer to multiply, and I'm gonna make his a little bit lighter, but also a little bit warmer towards browns probably, because we have a lot of neutral tones going on here. I mean neutrals, I mean more like earthy brown, yellowy-ish tones. So I'm gonna do my best to eyeball this. Okay, so I'm not gonna become too detailed with this. I am gonna blur it. And I feel like that's like a cheat that I use a lot when doing these kinds of backgrounds. Because you can just put not like super much, how do I explain this? You don't have to put too much detail into the background if you know you're gonna blur it. Just put enough so that things read well enough when blurred. I'm gonna make this slightly darker. I'm gonna kind of make the rectangle-ish thing in the back. It does look a little bit darker than the rest of the stuff in here. Actually, let's do a duller color first. And we'll blur that and then add the second one after, or on top. Maybe I should do it on this layer first. Actually, keep forgetting to do stuff here, so I'm gonna add a little bit of a white color to the center of this. A lot of these are gonna have to be bigger. I don't think I'm doing these right. So let's get rid of these actually. I'm gonna redo this. Add a white center kind of to these. It's not gonna really show up that much anyways. Okay, I'm going to blur them first so they kind of look kind of more like spotlights, and then we're gonna use motion blur. So I kind of like how this follows the direction of whatever way you're pressing. So I'm gonna go diagonal this way, just slightly. And then on this addition layer, we're gonna add in the second one. So I'm kind of like offsetting it because we still have to add one more layer of a color, which is kind of like the brighter color here, which is kind of like a circle that's going to overlap both. I don't think this is going to look prettier than the original. It's going to look like a scuffed version, the budget version. I think I'm going to put noise over the background maybe, or the whole thing, because I think it's going to fit a little bit fit nicer. So what I'm going to do is blur ever so slightly, and then we're gonna do motion blur kind of into that diagonal, and I'm going to lower. Which one do I want to lower? This might be this one. Kind of like that. This looks so scuffed. Oh well. I'm gonna move these slightly. Okay, so let's paint Wonwoo, so we can get that nice lighting on his face. Because now that we kind of established the color palette for the background, we can better choose what skin tone. So I'm gonna mix kind of this tan color into the peachy-ish color a little bit. Let's give him his lips. See, I don't know how much I'm gonna like this piece. I don't know if it's because I feel slightly out of it, or less motivated to work on this one. So I'm gonna kind of add more of a yellowy brown. I'm gonna add kind of the bottom portion of his nose. While on this side, we actually do have this kind of bright light hitting. I'm doing his eyelids so I can add a little bit of a highlight up here, which is more of a stylistic choice, not really, like, it's not really in the photo. Darker color for his jacket. So I believe like their most recent performance actually had these outfits, which I really like, because I really like Dino's outfit a lot in that one. And just like the way how they styled him looks really nice. So usually I would use the addition or like the add layer to do this, but I think we can just do this manually. If I change my mind, I might erase this and do it manually. Or not manually, do it with the actual blend mode. I actually think it's easier if I actually did this in black and added the grayish muted warm color over top. Because he kind of has almost like a floral pattern with like tiny flowers and stuff. I'm gonna make these darker to exaggerate kind of like the shadows down here. Kind of a light up here, and then we can add kind of like the rim lighting on his jacket, which is quite thin. It's quite thick up here. And then it comes to be quite thin. And then we kind of need the same warmer red color. Adding a little bit of red to his eyes. I'm gonna add more of a muted shadow. That is not muted. Make this a little bit more saturated. I'm gonna add shadows to where the hair touches the forehead, and I usually like adding more of a purple color. I think it just like deepens the shadow nicely. I have to get rid of this themer things. Some things I'm gonna keep more stylized because I'm not aiming for semi-realism or realism, so take some creative liberties here. Okay, let's work on his eyes. Like I said, I'm going to use this probably as the white. Well, this one can be lighter. But I'm not using an actual white. I'm kind of using like a grayish color, so it doesn't stand out too much. And then eye color. Just to make sure it doesn't stand out too much, I think we are going to stick with brown this time. But I will make the kind of like the bottom portion of his eyes a little bit more golden-y, or an amber color, kind of like an orangey color. I'm not gonna add too much on this side because this side should be the most amount of light here. Okay, let's work on his hair. Also brown, so I'm gonna change and use the same color as his eyes. And we can get a little bit more saturated, a little bit lighter. When we go to this side, I'm gonna make this a lot cooler. We get darker. The light's kind of hitting this portion of the hair. Kind of helps with the hair, and then we can add kind of like the muted highlights, which are actually quite large, but they're not as bright, so you can kind of leave them quite vague. I'm gonna go back in the sketch and try to eliminate some of these lines that are a little bit unnecessary. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna lock the layer. And I'm going to change the line art color to be a little bit softer, especially in these areas. A little bit more saturated, a little bit more lighter. Just to match with the lighting. I'm doing this so I don't have to change the colors as frequently when I'm working on cleaning stuff up, which we're going to do right now, I think. So I'm going to merge down my sketch so that these guys are all in one layer, and we can start to clean up. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more white to his eyes. Let's move on to the mouth actually. Let's do this first. So I usually don't do lips that detailed. So I'm gonna keep this still quite vague. Kind of darken up this side of his lips. I'm not really feeling this one anymore. It's gonna add another color into his eyes. I think I'm gonna add more of like a purpley color into his eyes. Just very lightly. Kind of makes it look a little bit more rounder, glossier, kind of shiny. Also, 17's voices for 2U, I think is still my favorite from the album. I like hearing Joshua have a little bit more of like longer, more powerful parts. Same with Jeonghan, because he actually got some nice ones in 2U and Rock With You. Small highlight to show kind of that he's backlit a bit. Let's darken up his eyebrows. Actually, I'll do his eyebrows after I do the hair. I think that makes more sense. I think I do want to make his bangs a little bit darker though. Because I actually really do like the contrast between his hair and his skin. Like I said, I made his bangs a little bit too long. Don't know if I like this, which means I might redo the recording. I don't know if I like this anymore. Because I definitely think part of it is because I drawn the eyes a little bit differently than how I wanted it to look. Might also be the lips, because I feel like sometimes I draw lips and sometimes I don't. I do like a simple. Who knows? So I certainly don't. Oh well, let's just push through and see if I like it at the end. If I don't, that's okay. Okay, let's erase the purple in his hair, and then I'm gonna actually block in as much as I can with color to get rid of some of the lines, because some of this is confusing. Get the highlights into here. We're gonna get some of these shapes back in while I'm going to knock out some of these lines. Okay. Highlights always help the hair form. Okay, let's fix the shape first. So I think part of this is just me trying to figure out how to salvage it. Sadly, unlike the S-Coops one that I did with gouache, I don't know if this will benefit from just me darkening up the hair and like blocking out the little shapes, because I think that saved the other one for me at least a little bit. think I need to do kind of like an art reset for myself. I think I've been doing too much digital lately, so maybe I need to plan out a few watercolor painting, do a little bit of that. Yeah, Wonwoo's part in To You I really like. With like Woozy's ad-libs. It's so pretty. But the like S-Coops' part in Rock With You hit you guys in the feels. I'm not gonna lie, like when I was listening to the music video as soon as it came out, I was like rocking, like banging my head, kind of like, you know, bopping my head to the music. And as soon as S-Coops' part came on, it's like everything just stopped. I love that part. It's so beautiful and so soft and like comforting. He has like a voice I find very comforting when he sings or raps, because it's the same on Lean On Me. I love his part, I think, the most. Yeah, I don't hate it as much. I definitely wish I did a better job though. But I feel like that's like the good thing about like just pushing through, because like even if you don't like it, there's stuff you learn from actually finishing the piece. Because imagine if you always stopped during like the sketching phase and you don't know if the color could have fixed it, or if you do line art, the line art could have fixed it. So like just complete your thing, your drawing. But also like don't force yourself to complete stuff all the time, because sometimes it's better to restart. Make it more kind of like that. So I do have it around 50%. I do like what it looks like, but I'm gonna see if adding the noise filter helps a little bit. I kind of want to add a soft noise filter. I'm not gonna add it super noticeable, especially when it's zoomed out quite a bit, but it's still there. I think it's definitely more noticeable on like the background areas. Yeah, I think noise helps a little bit. And yeah, this is Wonwoo. I will quickly go through the time lapse. I don't know if I'll put the time lapse at the very end of this one, because I usually will do the comparison at the end, so you guys can quickly see the many changes I did. Me putting in the image so I can match the colors a little bit more better. Where is it? Right there, that little flash. Yeah, I definitely don't hate it, but I definitely think I could have like approached it maybe a little bit differently. Hair. His hair is also a little bit like not as voluminous, I think, at the top. Yeah, I don't really hate it, but thank you guys very much for at least watching me struggle with drawing this one of Wonwoo. I don't think it really looks like him. That's another thing I'm going to struggle with like a little bit later. But thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time with another video. Bye!